So I had began to wonder how or why Hedera was also pumping absolutely insane this last week or so. I assumed that it had something to do with the overall crypto bull run we are experiencing to that point. Last night we made some history. 9:35 p.m. is when I captured the screenshot. Bitcoin hitting $100,000 for the first time. Now, I'm not going to get too deep off into Bitcoin. This is going to be focused on Hedera. I needed help with this one. We're going to get to it. But I want you to understand the significance of $100,000 Bitcoin. It's going to be a paradigm shift in this market going forward. And if you don't think altcoins are going to follow in the next couple of weeks, you ain't been here long enough. But it's okay. Now, let's turn our attention to this story here. We're going to do our introductions because we got a lot to talk about. My name is Wade. You're listening to another edition of the DHN Crypto Podcast. I've been in the space since 2019 and I've researched over 1,000 digital assets. The number one reason I run this channel, share all that information with you. The only thing I ask in return is you hit that like button, but not for me. Today, do it for 100K Bitcoin and the monumental shift that we are about to experience. In return, I got something for you. It's a DHN Crypto Starter Kit. You get your 5 verticals of crypto, tools and resources to help you navigate this crypto space. Listen, there are a lot of new people in this market. There are a lot of new people on this channel. And I remember being in your shoes. I wish I ran across an influencer that just gave away a free 6-page PDF with links to various crypto news outlets, crypto ecosystems, analytics sites, things like that to help you really define everything going on in this space. Well, I decided to be that guy for you. So go down to the description, look for the DHN Crypto Starter. And while you're at it, guys, I got one more thing for you. Check out Uphold. It's the only exchange that I use now. I've been a customer of Uphold since 2020. You can get the link to this also in the description. But I want to share with you something that I discovered really last night. Was their portfolio management system. They give you access to information like profit and loss real time. And I'm telling you, if you want to survive in this crypto space, that is going to be a game changer for you. So they're also the number one partner for Ripple's RLUSD. If you want to, be a part of that, then you're definitely going to want to be on Uphold. And I think they're going to incorporate it into this 4.6 APY on your dollar balance. So with that, guys, let's jump into this story because, like I said, I needed some help. And fortunately, crazy how God works, he decided to put someone in my life who just so happened to be on the ground floor with this one. So, Six invests in OpenBrick. Its Spanish CSD Iberclear plans DLT pilot regime platform. So there are so many angles. I was going to say ankle leg, but I am not at home. So as part of the announcement regarding OpenBrick, the BME revealed plans for its Central Securities Depository subsidiary, Iberclear, to get a license to operate a DLT trading and settlement platform, DLTSS, under the EU's digital pilot regime in 2025. Iberclear will become the platform operator for the DLT transactions executed by OpenBrick. It won't be the first CSD in the DLT pilot regime. The very first approval was for Prague CSD, although that was only for settlement and not trading. So in that paragraph itself is a number of details we will explore further in just a moment. But I want to address the question that's highlighted here because in this case, let's lean on the adoption model. BME, which is the group that is owned by Six. They would be the institutional player in this situation. They want to create a product. This will be the Iberclear TSS. They need a toolkit in order to run that product. In this scenario, Hedera is that toolkit. So, in this adoption model, you have institution in the form of BME, product in the form of Iberclear, tech stack in the form of Hedera. I'm going to make a point to emphasize that every time we see it throughout this entire bull run. But Iberclear DLT on Hedera. Given OpenBrick operates on Hedera, that implies that Iberclear DLT platform will be based on Hedera. The BME confirmed this to Ledger Insights via email with a spokesperson saying Iberclear TSS will operate on the Hedera DLT. However, the technology has been designed to be multi-chain, which is to be expected. That's totally fine, with the potential to integrate other blockchains thanks to its smart contracts being compatible with the Ethereum virtual machine. So that's very interesting. And again, I wouldn't be fearful of the fact that it won't strictly be Hedera. We live in a multi-chain world. That's why interoperability is so important. To that point, Hedera implemented an Ethereum virtual machine not too long ago, along with a large amount of assets in this market. If you're new, you'll see EVMs quite frequently. Just know it's the heartbeat of Ethereum. Now, this last piece here, OpenBrick plans to support the tokenization of a wide range of real estate projects, including residential accommodation, offices, commercial, logistics, and others. Besides providing primary issuance, it also plans secondary trading via the Iberclear infrastructure. OpenBrick aims to become a non-bank financial channel for developers and operators to raise funds. So we have OpenBrick, which will be making use of Hedera to offer these services to all of their customers. This pulls in tokenization. This pulls in real-world assets in the form of real estate. So this really opens the door for Hedera, them being positioned in this particular arrangement. But there are a couple overarching themes that we need to really dive into. Number one being Six. Who is this company? Well, see, they've been around for a minute. And I remember discovering them the first time, actually, when I began to research Solana. They were one of the first exchanges to start offering exchange-traded products through a company called 21 Shares. And in 2021, they launched a Solana-based exchange-traded product. So that's what initially caught my attention about Six, which stands for Switzerland Infrastructure Exchange, right? But in 2021, they launched SDX, which is their own digital exchange, along with blockchain bonds. So, as described here, CoinDesk reports that SDX would go live this month, following the recipient of 2 licenses from Swiss market regulator FINMA in September. The SDX blockchain bond is the first digital issuance to be done using regulated market infrastructure, according to a press release from parent company SIX. Credit Suisse, UBS, and Zurcher acted as the joint lead managers on the bond issuance. So that was 2021. Hit the market strong, November 18th, right? Well, in just 3 short years, you can see here that blockchain bond, along with some of their other assets, cracked over $1 billion in Swiss franc. I show you that so that way you are aware of who Hedera just bumped into. Because to my knowledge, this is the first time I've seen Six and Hedera in association with each other. And again, this is pulling Hedera technology into a much larger network here. Because Six, they getting busy in other places. 6 Swiss banks and 6 join BIS tokenization project Agora. Now I follow a researcher that has been in the space for a minute. And I hope his research is not their research, because we still don't know the identity of this individual. But I hope their research does not get lost on you. XX1133 has put this diagram together to kind of give us an idea of what that platform looks like. Now, what this does is open the door for possible collaboration, obviously. But I'm more interested in the fact that SDX seems to be the one encompassing everything up in here. Oh, and you may recognize this logo here, R3. Yes, the SDX exchange is using R3 technology. They're actually using Corda in their infrastructure. That's another tie-in, right? But on a retail level, and this is what pulled in my brother Dimitri, Okay, shout out to him, guys. He has been a great help, especially in the last couple of weeks. You got something coming from me, bro. Just understand that. But with him being on the ground floor, he was able to emphasize this particular story here. So they created a product called Twint. It's a mobile payment system similar to Venmo, Cash App, things like that. Ladies and gentlemen, this app is used everywhere. Like I said, it's just like Venmo or Cash App, not just in build or design, but popularity. Again, it shows you just how important, just how powerful Six is. Now let's talk about the other companies involved. BME investing in OpenBrick, the tokenized real estate securities platform. So you'll also notice that all of this information came out relatively close to each other in the same week. But what I found to be interesting about this is how they describe OpenBrick specifically, what they look to target. Their platform connects issuers, investors, and financial intermediaries with a wide range of real estate projects, residential, hospitality, offices, commercials, etc., whose negotiable securities can be acquired in a primary market and subsequently traded in a secondary market that will provide liquidity to each investment portfolio. In addition, OpenBrick will act as a non-bank financing channel through which different real estate players, such as developers, managers, and operators, can obtain funds to develop their projects more quickly and at a lower cost than through traditional financing channels. And again, this service is all built on Hedera. So it isn't a situation where Hedera is just used to record ledger transactions. No, Hedera is the heartbeat for OpenBrick. It is the heartbeat of their main offering. So that's powerful in my opinion, especially when you understand where this could be used and their association with the largest digital asset company in Switzerland. And it's not just digital assets. This financial institution has been around for 80 years? I'd have to double check that, but they've been around for a minute. They've definitely were a part of the technology revolution coming out of 2000. Because when you look up their Wikipedia page, there are several links to the acquisitions and things that they've made in the past. But just to confirm, the OpenBrick Hedera relationship, you go over to their website, you take a look at some of their other offerings. White label tokenization engine, customizable trading module. So not only do you tokenize the assets, but you also get a platform to trade said tokenized assets. Again, running on Hedera. And then you have the scalable software as a service platform, end-to-end integration, enhanced security and compliance. Love to see those things. Let me see here. That was the services page. Wanted to show you where it was built on Hedera. Board of directors, their team, core values. Must be on the home page. I scroll through a lot of these, y'all. So don't get to laughing. Don't even get to laughing. Bam. I found it. Nah. So OpenBrick on Hedera. Large collaborations. Largest Swiss digital asset company involved. I can't see anything wrong with this. Now, the only downside, I guess, would be the rate of adoption for tokenized real estate. But you have other assets. I believe there are a couple on Ripple. Well, not assets, but protocols that allow for it to happen. I believe there's one on Ripple. We all know about Loftly on Algorand. So this seems to be the Loftly for Hedera through OpenBrick. So shout out to OpenBrick. Welcome to the ecosystem. That's one side of this story. The other side of this story was mentioned in the headline as well. DLT pilot regime. What is that? So we talk a lot about what the European Union has been doing in regards to blockchain. We covered the European blockchain services infrastructure. We talked about the markets and crypto markets and crypto assets regulation, right? But one thing we haven't really touched on, that is fairly new, is the EU DLT pilot regime. This was launched last year, and essentially what it is a group that is looking to usher in the adoption of DLT-based financial instruments in European financial markets. That is why you get the majority of the information regarding the pilot regime from the European Securities Monetary Authority. But what I found to be the most interesting is what it exactly describes. First off, you see here DLT trading and settlement system. That is what Iberclear is. That is what will be running on Hedera. But when you keep on scrolling down, DLT market infrastructures and their operators who's eligible. Authorized investment firms and market operators may apply to operate a DLT multilateral trading facility. So that's DLT MTF. But what's DLT TSS? Both groups may apply to operate a combined DLT trading and settlement system. So notice how in the Ledger Insights press release, they mentioned that Prague CSD was the first member of the EU pilot regime. However, they only did settlement. There wasn't trading. This one, Iberclear on Hedera, will do both. Now, continuing, new entrants may apply for temporary authorizations as in investment firms, market operators, or CSDs alongside an application under the DLT pilot regime. It gets even interesting, even better, when you look at the long-term outlook here. And this is what it got me excited. The DLT pilot is set to run for a period of at least 3 years, with the possibility to be extended by the European Commission. The types of financial instruments covered by the DLT pilot may also be extended, so that would include the Iberclear. The DLT pilot, if successful, it could be made permanent by amending relevant union financial services legislation to establish a single coherent framework. So after reading that, the conclusion that I came to was that if everything goes well, the fact that Iberclear, which runs on Hedera, is looking to be the DLT TSS within the DLT pilot regime, which only has so many participants, I'm going to show you that as well, then that would make Hedera technology part of an EU registered official financial instrument. And people wonder why I'm so bullish. Now, there's another asset, like I mentioned, that's involved with this, because it's not that many. For one, I found this report here, courtesy of PwC, published in June, that gave a 12-month review of the EU pilot regime, right? And I found it interesting, excuse me, that he talks about how not many people have signed up to be a part of this, with the exception of Prague. Now, altogether, there have been, as of April of 2024, had only received 4 official applications. Applications were received from one DLT TSS and a DLT MTF from Germany, and another one in the Czech Republic, and then lastly in the Netherlands. So that one didn't really tie into what we were looking at. However, this further 8 potential applications are expected to be submitted during the course of 2024. These applications were submitted from France, Germany, Lithuania, Poland, and Spain. Right? Gets interesting, but hold on, I got another one for you. Lithuania. Now, when I talked about there were only a select group of assets a part of this DLT pilot regime, well, obviously Ripple would be there. Ripple's everywhere, guys. But take a look at this, because if I'm not mistaken, yep, the Axiology project. Hell of a name, Axiology. But combination between Ripple and a company called SuperHow. SuperHow is a private blockchain technology research lab based in Lithuania. Brings its expertise in cutting-edge projects involving central bank digital currencies to the partnership. Axiology is a tokenized security and trading settlement system, DLT TSS infrastructure. This infrastructure enables multiple layers of the current capital market infrastructure to coexist on one technology layer, leading to multiple synergies, process efficiencies, and new business models. This collaboration aligns with Ripple's commitment to drive innovation and advance the adoption of blockchain technology in the financial industry. So, outside of Hedera being used as a key component for technology that is registered under this DLT pilot regime, we now have Ripple in the same situation, which makes a certain headline that we saw not too long ago even more impactful. Ripple joins hands with Hedera and Aptos Labs to launch Mica Crypto Alliance. And to summarize, they're essentially forming this to help companies navigate these new rules and legislations in the European Union. And I think being a part of the EU-backed DLT pilot regime is going to give them a lot of credibility when it comes to recruiting other networks or traditional Web3 companies in the union. So that's big, right? Altogether, I like what Hedera is doing. I like where Hedera is positioning themselves. This also shows you that even though we're celebrating 100K here in the United States, we're enjoying the frothiness of this market, the utility is still coming. The utility, as a matter of fact, because more money is being made right now, utility is going to supercharge. So expect to see a lot more connections like this. Now, I got a couple bonuses for you guys. Last month, in October, Novati Payments, which you may remember, Australian digital dollar stablecoin, launching on the XRP ledger as well as Stellar Lumens. Well, according to this release here in September, they've now expanded to Hedera. So again, we have a situation, Ripple and Hedera, XRP ledger and Hedera being used in the same spot. On top of that, guys, I stumbled upon this too, which I found to be very interesting. We'll definitely be investigating this in the coming weeks. But 3 days ago, courtesy of Tata H. Barbarian, shout out to you, Dr. Lehman Baird, inventor of the Hashgraph consensus algorithm, has announced on an HBAR Foundry call that spheres are coming to the Hedera network. Spheres will allow you to run a private Hedera network, but with the added trust and interoperability provided by the public Hedera network. What makes this so impactful to me is I've read so many documents that come from Web3 institutions that are not blockchain related, and their appetite for wanting the same benefits of these public networks in a private environment, because you do have to understand a lot of these financial institutions, they're carrying sensitive data. So it would make sense that they would actually want to make use of a private network. I hope I ain't coming down with something on a roll right now, but still very impactful information, and we're going to dive into it. So with that, guys, that's all I got for this one. Kept this short and sweet. Ooh, 100K, man, 100K. I don't often talk about charts, but this is just something this is my personal chart. I've been tracking it for years, and there's definitely a pattern forming. I can tell you, this ain't over, because you can already see it. XDC, let me pull this out a little bit. XDC is already beginning its turnaround. So is XRP. Hedera was one of the first to move. Flare is up 5%. This is in the last hour or so. So market's looking good, guys. So is the utility side to this industry. Again, don't forget to pick up your DHN Crypto Starter Kit. Link to that will be in the description. My number one thing is to equip you with the tools you need to navigate this space. And if you want to be a part of the conversation on the new financial system, I'm your guy as well. So with that, y'all know what time it is. If that money is digital, so is the hustle.